Yeah, welcome to the Racer X Exhaust Podcast. I'm Jason Weigandt. I wish I had news for you. I'm recording this on a Wednesday, and I believe tomorrow there will be more information on the races as far as Lucas Oil Pro Motocross events, dates, locations. I sure hope so. So maybe we'll have another podcast coming for you soon when we discuss that. But today we're going to talk to Malcolm Stewart as we are putting Monster Energy Supercross in the rear view. Malcolm doesn't race outdoors, or as you will hear him say in this podcast, he would be willing to, but he doesn't have a team that does it that he's on right now. So before Supercross is done and we officially put all the focus on motocross, let's talk to him because he had a great season in Supercross this year. This is all brought to you by Yoshimura. You can go to yoshimura-rd.com for the latest exhaust systems for your dirt bike, your street bike, your ATV, side-by-side, whatever you need. And also YoshimuraCycling.com for stuff for your bicycle, including that new Chaleo pedal made in the USA. It is a high-end item. Will make you rethink having clips with your pedals. This video is also sponsored by MX Tech Suspension, manufacturing professional aftermarket suspension for riders who want excellent comfort and control. Their quality engineering is based on a lifetime of specializing in dirt bike suspension. They developed a Lucky Fork featuring dual springs, dual cartridges, Huck valves, and it's also ultra lightweight. Head over to mx-tech.com for more information because they've got the latest technology so you can get max performance while maintaining the lightest shock and fork available. Also brought to you by Psychic MX, full-range motocross brand, engine internals to everyday wear and tear parts. From your weekend warriors to your full-on race guys, they have everything you need. Check them out at psychicmx.com. And also, Evil Coffee Company. They've been on board with us here at Racer X in various ways for a while because we like coffee, and I especially like free things. And one time, they sent me a bag of free coffee. But if I wanted, I could probably get set up to get coffee delivered every month because Evil Coffee has a subscription plan, and they will send coffee right to you. So go to evilcoffeecompany.com. This is a specialty coffee, small batch roasted in Columbus, Ohio. So there's a big difference between this coffee and what you're going to get anywhere else. They like to say, hey, is your coffee ratio right? Yeah, theirs is. Okay, premium coffee from Evil Coffee Company. Also, before I get to this Malcolm Stewart thing, poor Malcolm here does say that he's loved Hondas. Yes, he won the 2016 250 Supercross East Championship on a Honda. That's one thing. Malcolm says he just loved Hondas ever since they came out with that cool dual pipes, dual exhaust system because he just thought it was badass. But I got bad news for Malcolm. The 2021 Honda 450 has been announced now, and it has a single exhaust system. But you get the Works Edition, which has a single Yoshimura exhaust system. It is awesome to see Yosh, our title sponsor here, working with Honda again on the new Works Edition bikes. If you want to know everything about the latest 2021s, we've got insight that no one else has because I called Chris Kiefer. Check out the video we posted yesterday or just go to our Racer X YouTube channel and you'll hear a 10-minute conversation with myself and Kiefer talking about the new bikes, including what that new Honda 450 might be like to ride. I don't think there's been any press rides yet, but Kiefer was testing that bike and helping develop it. So he will be the only person that can tell you what that bike will feel like when you ride it. Only person. So check it out on racerxonline.com. Finally, go to racerxonline.com/Weege, subscribe, and be entered to win a specialized turbo electric mountain bike. That's enough promos. Let's get to Malcolm. Normally, I'd be asking people, dude, you're probably motoing down, sweating it out, but what happens for you when Supercross ends? Do you get to actually chill a little bit? What do you get to do now?
From here, I've just been fishing a lot.
Nice.
Not nonstop. I mean, obviously my trainer, Garrett Swanepoel, he gave me like 2 weeks off, so I was going to take 2 weeks off anyways.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
But no, I've been fishing like morning and night, so I've literally get up at like 4:45 in the morning, try to be out in the lake by 6 and fish till about 10 because it's so hot in Florida right now. And then take a nap, some lunch, and then go back, catch the evening route. So literally that's what basically I've been doing nonstop. I got to the point where I had to like physically remember to eat because I was fishing so much.
You don't pack a lunch out on the boat or something?
No, I got waters. That's about it.
That's it.
That's it. I ain't gonna be thirsty,
Dude, you're gonna be lighter now than when you're actually in race season. You're gonna lose weight.
I know, right? And I was sitting. I'm like, dude, I don't even eat. Yesterday I think I ate one time. I'm like, this is so not healthy for the body right now. But
That's
it's
right.
okay. I'm still going.
Well, I'm glad you figured out how to get both done, because we always heard that you loved fishing, maybe even more than racing. So you figured out a way to get both of them in your life right now.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm happy. I'm just been a happy camper and just really just being back home. I think that's that whole racing in Utah. I think honestly that was the longest month of my entire life. I mean, I enjoyed myself. Don't get me wrong, but it was a really long month.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, I expected by the end of it, like, riders weren't even going to be racing, riders were going to show up, people were going to be burnt out. You were strong the whole time, but I feel like most riders coped with it pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the struggle was racing Sunday to Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
The recovery wasn't. It was a day less than Wednesday to Sunday.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like I kind of would struggle a little bit, just for Wednesday, I'd be a little like off in the morning, and then it obviously by the end of the day it would kick on. But it was weird. Like I said, the first at least 3 or 4 races we did. I mean, the weather was changing so much that it was like one day. I mean, one of the times we got one practice and we went straight to the race, and then in another race it was like. We didn't have to do anything until it was a night race. So we basically didn't ride practice until like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It was weird. So it was different, but I think it was cool because it kind of kept everybody on their toes, and it was new for all of us. This is no fans, no nothing. It was. I mean, yet alone. I mean, you didn't even have track walk. I mean, I honestly got to a point where I looked up the track one time. And then I never went back and viewed the track anymore. I just got on my motorcycle and just rode out. You know what I mean? Did the 2-lap parade or whatever they call it, and just went straight riding. So it was cool. It was really cool. And yeah, you are right. I think you expected for riders to just kind of fade out, but I mean, we all were kind of talking on the line. We were like, "Man, we're ready to go home."
Okay. Okay.
No, the talk was there.
Okay.
The talk was there. No, it definitely crossed everybody's mind. I was ready to go home after it flooded. With the mud race, I was like, you know what? After I realized that we could have a full blown mud race in Utah, that's when I realized I was like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah. You had a race with dust, which we never see, and then a mud race in Utah. Yeah, that's.
It was like I feel like I'm in the same. I'm riding on the same track, the same dirt. You know what I mean? And I feel like I feel like I've been racing somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like I went from Seattle to Vegas in literally 2 days.
Actually, did that help a little bit? I mean, the mud races aren't fun, but did it help that just by dumb luck, at least it didn't feel like the same track 7 times?
One thing about mud races, you pretty much have one goal is to stay up. That's it.
Yep.
Get to the first turn, get a good start, and just stay up. And the race pretty much take care of itself. Because if you're a rider that just stays up, you're going to finish top 10 regardless, no matter how you look at it. That's just the way the ball rolls. But it's kind of like I was sitting there. I'm like, man, I can't believe we're actually having a mud race right now.
Yeah.
This is not happening. Why can't we just race in Arizona?
That's right.
It's like why, but again, then I'm sitting here. I'm like, you know what? I'm actually whatever. I'll just take it because we could be racing in September right now too. So
that's right.
There. Sorry.
All good.
I know the dog. Somebody opened the door, but. Yeah, I'm just happy it's over with now, and we just kind of gotta from here on out is really just sit back and relax and just kind of see what plays out.
Dude, you hit it well, though, because I feel like you stepped up. Like, you rode better, I feel, almost at the Utah rate. Your beginning of the year was good. Then you had a couple rough ones, but pretty much Utah was all good. So whether you wanted to get out of there or not, something about it seemed to be working for you, at least results-wise.
Yeah, I mean, it was more just excitement of to be back racing again. I never stopped training, pretty much the whole time this whole virus thing went away. And I just pretty much just nonstop. I was like, because the weirdest thing is like, I didn't know when we were going to be racing.
Yeah.
Everything was so like at 15 days, every 15 days, every 15 days. And I'm just like, but I'm not going to lie. I mean, at one point I was like, I really don't know what we're going to do anymore. And I was just like, this is kind of, what am I training for right now? Like, am I training for September? Because if that's the case, I'm gonna stop. So it was kind of definitely up in the air, but we did take. I think it kind of reset the button for me, me and myself in the personal, even just personal life and just having some time away. Because after Daytona, that was pretty much it for a little while, and it was just kind of. Like, you start getting in that mental zone where it's just race after race, and you're putting so much effort into, and you're not getting the results that you truly want. So it's kind of like I was in a little bubble for a little while, and then I think this break kind of like freed things up. I went, I stopped. I started doing fishing, and I didn't even ride. I mean, our team obviously, because nobody wasn't sure what was going to happen, as far as we were going to race in September or it was going to be in May. So, of course, teams, kind of cut the budgets back. So we went from, riding once a week. But, our team, they took our bikes away because the last thing that they heard was, we weren't going to race till September. So I basically just sat in Florida and did no riding or anything for over a month, So it was pretty things were happening pretty quick, and then next we got a call that we might be racing, and I flew back out to California, and 2 weeks later I'm at Salt Lake, so it was quick.
This really shows like the mental side versus the physical. So it's not like you were grinding. It was more just being refreshed, restarted, getting a break. That actually helped more than if you had more time on the bike.
Yeah, like honestly, I mean, don't get me wrong. First practice out there and on the track, I was rusty.
Okay.
Buddy, I was rusty. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
I was boner some triples, like definitely doing some things that I'm not normally supposed to be doing. But it was more of a mental side for me to kind of refresh the batteries and just get things back going.
Look, you had said like 1 million times when the year started, the goal was to do 17 rounds. So how good does it feel? Like you did, your results were good, but first of all, you accomplished that first goal. You did all 17, so you got to be like sigh of relief. Yeah,
no, I am. I mean, I hit a lot of personal goals this year, and and just to knock some of those off that you set goals at your own self, and when you start achieving them, it definitely makes you it feels like the work ethic has come. Of course, I wanted to finish all 17 rounds, and I got that, and now it's just more from here. It's just going to make bigger, longer goals for the following year. So, I'm like I said, I'm definitely happy. There's nothing that I can sit here and say like, oh, I wish I would have did this, wish I would have did that, because I left that. Trust me, when I drove out of that gate at a stadium, I drove out with a smile on my face no matter what.
Well, what if you had scored one more point? Because I didn't even realize. I messed this up. I thought you finished 6th. You tied for 6th. You end up getting 7th. Do you care about that? One more point, dude.
I mean, of course, because, at the end of it does, it will hurt a little bit in the season standings. But, I mean, we all know, I mean, it was... that one DNF hurt me for sure. I mean, there was no ifs buts about it. But Zach was riding really good at the end of the Utah. He really showed. So there's ups and downs. I mean, I was riding good as well. So I mean, we were neck and neck. But when he had that DNF, or when I had that DNF, it definitely hurt me in points. But again, at the end of the result, I mean, the way I look at it is I take the DNF away, I still did everything I was supposed to do. I still put myself in a good position as best I can. So, again, I'm not gonna sweat it over a point. But if it would have been like the championship or something, or top 3 or whatever, I'd be kind of a little upset. But it is what it is. I mean, 6th and 7th, it's not it's not that big of a deal. My goal is obviously to be more up top for the following year.
Well. So either way, 6th or 7th, we could say you're like the top guy, not in a factory team. But I really have a tough time figuring out your team because I don't feel like you're at a big disadvantage. I mean, I guess it's not factory Honda, but how do you classify it? Do you look at it like only guys that beat me were factory, or you think like that's really nothing because your team's good too? Like, how does that work?
I mean, it really just depends on how you carry, how the team carries itself.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I've been on the factory side. I've been not, and the grass isn't always green on the other side. We all know that. Mm-hmm. It's really just, the biggest thing what helped me is I love the Honda. Mm-hmm. that was I won the championship in 2016. I'm for Geico Honda. So I kind of had that edge for Hondas anyways. Actually, believe it or not, where I actually fell in love with Hondas when back in 2006 when they came out with dual exhaust. That was the coolest thing in the world. I mean, I was like, there's not a cooler motorcycle out in the world that is cooler than dual exhaust. That set me from there on. So,
I don't know. They got a new bike coming. I might have some bad news for you. We'll have to see.
I know. Okay. I know. I'm just talking about. That's where in my heart I went red.
Okay. All right. So now you're good, single or dual.
Yeah, single or dual. But
okay.
just the fact that they were the first ones to do it. That's what made me. That's what sold it to me.
But your team is good, dude. Like. Look, we all know the stories. Tony Lessie, I guess, used to be crazy. Now he says he's significantly less crazy. The team, I'll just admit, we used to make fun of the team back in the day. But at this point, we can't. The team's too good. And Hill was doing well, too. And Freezy does good. It's the best he's ever done. The team's good.
Yeah, no, like I said, the team's doing great. Brayton is the reason why that really put that team on the map.
Yep.
So he kind of basically just paved the way. And, everything that he kind of filled me in. I'm always been really cool with JB anyway, so I kind of know the ins and outs of how the team works and how the process. And they're it's a small team. They're hardworking guys, and that's honestly what I can just say because it's not a lot of everybody kind of does everybody's job around there. That's what makes the team. Yeah, you definitely. It's not very many, obviously, not as far as crew wise, not very many of us, but. Everybody helps out. Everybody's trying to look out for each other, and I think that's the cool thing about the team. So I'm definitely, I definitely like how the team works, and they're actually really good people.
Well, how much did it mean for you? Look, dude, you couldn't even get a ride the first couple of 450 years. How much did it mean going into last year, just being like, these guys got my back. They want me here. They're giving me everything they got, even if it's a small staff. Like, what did that do for you confidence-wise?
A lot, thus knowing that obviously I don't have to go back through the Ride 365 deal.
Yeah.
That was, it was cool, but
it looked good. It looked factory.
It looked factory. But it was not to knock on them guys either. It was just a tough year for me myself. I wasn't in the right mind state. So a lot had to do with me, and I felt like this year I kind of changed these last 2 years. I changed things around. The training, and then of course being back on the Honda, and as well as I'm obviously really, really cool with all the group of guys from the Honda side from when I was at Geico or even whenever Eric Kehoe came back and all those guys. So the Honda, as far as Honda, it kind of felt like home. I felt like I never left, and of course even being on a different team, but you're still seeing the same guys, group of guys at the practice track and test tracks and stuff like that. So it was just I felt a little bit better just in a whole as a spot for myself. So no, I'm definitely, like I said, I'm happy with everything that the process that I've made in the last 2 years, and from here is really just keep moving forward. Put my head down and see what happens next.
Well, look, man, it seems like you're in better shape these last 2 years than you've been. You used to advertise how much you like to fish, and you still do. Is there any point where the work was like, dude, this sucks? Or did you actually find yourself liking it the more you did?
I mean, anytime you're getting pounded to the ground, it's never fun.
Okay.
No, that's. I mean, I guess if you're not working, there's nothing worse whenever you're pounding yourself in the ground and you're not seeing results. That's where it kind of gets when you start second guessing yourself, or and things like that. But to me, working with Garrett Swanepoel and even the group of guys that he has, like, yeah, of course, we're pounding ourselves to the ground. We're working hard. We're doing everything we can, but we're also having fun with it too. And of course, the nutritionist Tyler Khaleesi for the BC Fit Meals, he's definitely on board too. So between those two guys and then obviously the group of guys that we have, I mean, AP's, he's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
He's a super laid back dude, and he works really hard as well. So and all the group of guys do. So it's really more like, don't get me wrong, we're getting pounded to the ground, but we're all having a good time, So it's everybody has their own little personalities, and next thing you know, and we're going go-karting, and we're having fun. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm stuck out in California. I got no other choice, but I'm having fun while I'm out there. So,
but do you get to the point, because the results keep getting better, where pounding into the ground is never fun, but does it start becoming like, I want to do more because, hey, if I'm doing this much and I'm getting this result, does it start like feeding on top of itself as the results get better too?
Yeah, of course. When you're it's not like, I want to. I mean, it's more like, it's not like, I want to train harder, because we're getting trained pretty hard. I mean,
yeah, you can't do more probably, or it'll be worse. Yeah,
because I mean, everybody's body's different, so we're already on the edge. But for me, it's more, it's more of confidence, all mental. In sport, the way I look at the sport, it's mostly mental than physical. When it gets to certain points, and again, of course, like when I got my top 5, I was like, all right, cool, man. I've been waiting for this for a long time. I got my heat race win. It's like, like you're starting to see the results, but it wasn't anything that I thought Anaheim won. It wasn't like, my mindset never changed. It was just a matter of being in the right position, the right timing. It's all timing, and that's what it takes to get to the next level. It's just, you got to be there. And I felt like the biggest thing where I was kind of struggling on was, of course, starts and little things like that. So I try to focus on more on my start and put myself in that position, because you ain't gonna win the race being in the back of the pack. That doesn't work that way. Falling the first turn or having a 15th place start dead last. That's not what's gonna win it. But it's how you race is what really determines everything. And we all know I'm a great racer. Yeah, of course. I hate coming from the back of the pack. That means I got to ride way harder out of control just to make things happen. I mean, people sit here and say, like, the funniest thing is, people are like, oh man, you're so good through the whoops. I was like, half of that is really going in with not a plan. It just so happens I go in there and it just works, I just somehow my motorcycle just floats across the whoops. That's how it happens. I'm not trying to go if and the funny thing is, like, if people really take a look at my face when I do track walk and I'm standing in the whoops, my eyeballs are fit like a size of a 50-cent piece. They're like, oh my God, these things are so dangerous. They're so, like, why did Dirtworks build these things? Like, they need to just flatten them for all our sakes.
Yeah, it's not what we would think. I thought you'd be like pumped.
No, I hate whoops. I can't. The whoops, triples, and finish lines with the over and under. Where you got over under, because they're steep on the backside of the finish line. Those 3 things. Oh, a dragon's back, so 4.
Bro, there's not going to be many obstacles left if you keep clicking them off here.
I mean, let's just do rhythm sections.
Okay.
Jump ons and jump offs. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
Make them rollers. It's okay.
Turns are okay? Turns don't scare you?
I'm okay with turns. Only left-hand turns. You got to have left-hand so you can use a brake.
Oh, jeez. So when we see you pass 2 guys in one whoop section, that's not a plan. That's just going for it.
That's sheer luck. That's not skill. I'll get me wrong. I mean, if people say, oh, he knows how to hit a set of whoops, I mean, I can tell you I've crashed in a lot of set of whoops at these practice days than anything.
Okay.
But Yeah, I mean, don't get. I had one race it was maybe the fourth, fifth race. I split two riders and I went right between them. Oh, I think what was it, St. Louis, right?
Yeah, dude, it was gold. It was so
Okay,
good. That was three guys, I think. I think it was three.
Okay. Yeah, so that right there was not planned.
Okay.
That was not planned. It wasn't supposed to happen. It just happened. Okay. The next, when I went and did it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like passing two guys in the whoops. Like, Malcolm, what are you thinking? Like, that was dumb. So it just happens. It wasn't like I'm gonna pass these guys through the whoops. It was just like I just went in the whoops and grabbed a little bit more gas, and now I got to deal with the consequences. So I'm just trying to get out of the whoops. So
it's funny because I guess we haven't seen those crashes during the week, so we're assuming you can go into the whoops that fast a million times and it's fine. But you actually remember that it doesn't always work out.
Oh, it never always works out. I mean, if you watch a few times, if they just put the camera on me a few times just in practice, going through the whoops, and I I probably go in the whoops and skip like 4 or 5 whoops going into and it doesn't look pretty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's been plenty of times I got so sketched out on the whoops, I jumped off the track, almost sideswiped flaggers and stuff like that, and just sit and then just ride around and go sit in mechanics area for a little bit. Got to check my pants. So
you're not working clickers there. That's not just
we're definitely sitting out there. I one of the races I was sitting there. I had a really really sketchy moment through the whoops, and I was like, you know what? I'm done with this practice. There was like 3 more minutes on the track at the time, and I was like, you know what? I don't even want to go back out here. I need to just go back because I was like, I almost just died out there.
This is hilarious.
So I come into mechanics there, and he's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "You don't even have. Where do I start? Where do I just start? It's like where my light, where the light flashed before my eyes, or where? Or there's a piece of me still laying in those whoop sections over there. Like where do I start? So you know what? That's what racing is all about. You're having fun, you're enjoying ourselves. I mean, don't get me wrong. As a fan perspective, a lot of us a lot of people are like, oh man, they're probably going through it all. Man, we're back there. I mean, some people are having good times, some people are having bad times, but at the end of the day, we're all out there having fun. We love what we do, and the communication is definitely it's gotten better with just how riders are speaking and speaking to each other and growing down. One thing I will say about Utah. Even with this whole COVID thing, riders were actually helping other riders out. I mean, of course, we didn't have any fans, so fans couldn't see that. But, there's been times where it's right, especially right in the beginning when the first couple races where, we'll push our bike up there and, there's rocks and stuff because, mechanics can't go up to the line. So
right.
We would have to, set our bike up and things like that. And, other riders would hold it, other riders' motorcycles and help pick around the rocks or whatever the case may be. It was actually like it took me almost back to where the amateur days used to be like, how we all used to just sit on the line and talk to each other and things like that. Or when we are over in Europe, of course, when you're in Europe, there's only a handful of American riders that are over there, but it's kind of like it's just like the USA. We're just all kind of stuck together and things like that. So you have no other choice but to talk to your the guys that you're racing with. So it was cool. It was really cool, and it was more like a natural reaction that you would do. So I mean, I would pull up to the line. And I would grab Roxon's bike or Cooper's bike or they would grab my motorcycle and things like that. It was like a natural reaction and everybody was helping each other out. So it was actually really cool.
Hey folks, real quick, a shout out to Yoshimura. I mentioned their cool exhaust systems, whether you have a bike that has dual pipes or a single pipe, or maybe a Honda that will have a single pipe in the future, you could get a Yoshimura exhaust pipe on the Works Edition bike, or you could buy one for your Honda or your Yamaha. Do you get the point that they have a variety of exhaust system options available for you? Go to yoshimura-rd.com for the latest on that. And also, RacerX Online, we're pushing the subscriptions, as always, to the magazine, exclusive stuff. I'm writing not one, but 2 features for the next issue. You want to read it, so go to racerxonline.com/Weege, and then when you subscribe, you will also be entered to win the specialized turbo mountain bike. And I rarely mention this, but we have RacerXbrand.com. That's where we have all our shirts and jackets and hats. But they have just released, I believe for the first time ever, I've been here nearly 20 years. I don't remember ever RacerX sunglasses, but they are now available. And I asked the office to send me a 6-pack, which will probably get me through the next 6 days until I lose all 6. They're cool. I endorse them at least for 6 days. Check out the sunglasses. I don't mean 6 days like ISDE. I just mean I lose 1 pair of sunglasses per day. Go to RacerXbrand.com for the latest merch from us. Now, back to Malcolm Stewart talking about guys being friendly with each other on the starting gate at Utah.
So this leads me right into the next thing. Your results are getting better. Now you're a borderline podium because you got 5th and 4th. Do you have that also? You're such a fun-loving guy and you're friendly with all the other riders. You're saying the whoops are luck. But are you getting to the point where do you have it in you, like as a competitor, to be like, I'm here to smoke everybody today. I'm here to win. I'm here to podium. I'm here to beat these other dudes. Is there an edge to you that we don't see?
Oh, of course. When like I said, I had that edge whenever I was in the 250 class when I won that championship. My mental state is always going to remain the same. You know, every time I'm lined up on a motorcycle, I'm definitely sitting here telling myself I'm just as good as these guys. It's just a matter of you got to put yourself in that situation and deal with it. So for me, of course, I've proven it. Of course, a heat race and. In practice or whatever the case, but, definitely just got to make it happen in the main event. And it's not a lack of confidence. It's more just got to be there. You got to be with the guys, got to put yourself in the right position. And of course, I started figuring that out as we went to Utah. The results got better. It got a couple top 5s and 4. So we're right on the edge of that podium and things like that. And I might just go straight to the top or just win the race. That's the goal. So I don't feel like I don't feel that I'm far off by doing that. It's just the right timing. I got to put myself in a better position. And this would be my second time. This would be my second year working with SmarTop. So it's more like I said, the mental state. And I felt like me leaving Utah, I'm definitely a lot more confident with the way how things ended this season for me as myself. So I'm already looking forward for next year. Yeah,
is it one of these things where you can't just do it overnight? Like, did you need this whole season? And maybe last year would have been that year if you didn't get hurt, but did you need that? Like, because you kept talking about the 17 rounds so much, and we just want to see heat race Mookie fever. We want to see the spectacular. And I feel like you decided, no, man, I just need to have one solid year to learn.
Yeah, of course. I felt like, for me, it was like I didn't want to just go out there and just kill myself and be out half the year. I was like, you know what, I need to take a step back and just put down some results. That's the thing. Just put results in, get some results, and just kind of, you missed the whole year of racing. Of course, Monster Cup was great. Doing a couple overseas was great, but there's nothing that replicates, Monster Energy Supercross. So when it's all said and done, you got 22 top riders lined up on that gate. That's where everything starts coming in. It's where you feel it. So for me, it was more just kind of get in, kind of just fill everything out, and then start just clicking away. And I told myself, it was like, all right, hey. If you just stay inside the top 10, I said you'll be close to top 5 at the end of the year. You need to win some heat races. Then I also had my own personal goals, like I said, I wanted to do. So it was more of didn't want to just throw the race away just because of what happened the following year.
Yeah.
But now that I got a season under my belt, I feel really, really confident of where I'm at, and I know that I can do really good for the following year.
I don't know if you're allowed to talk about this, but do you get any phone calls from other teams or anything like that? Does that start to happen with these results?
Yeah, of course. Teams reaching out.
Okay.
Of course, can't take. Can't say who, but
okay.
I don't know where things lie for me for the next year, but I will be somewhere.
Okay, there's interest. There's
definitely interest.
Okay.
I will be lining up on the gate. That's for sure.
All right, you'll be there. Okay.
I will be there.
Just explain the outdoors deal. I know you did another interview. I just read it recently, but you can explain it again. I know you had a kidney deal and dehydration and all that gnarly stuff, so you're not racing outdoors, right?
No, I would like to race outdoors. It's been a while for me. I did have that, the kidney issue and stuff like that. I was definitely in a bad, thing that was going on for me. Obviously, personal for health wise, and I felt like I started to overcome those things. And doing outdoors is, of course, I've always liked outdoors, no matter what. It's a whole different ball game for everybody. But these last 2 years, I signed with SmarTop, and their team, they're contracted where they don't do outdoors. So, of course, going for me to just go outdoors and do it on my own is kind of tough.
Yeah.
For myself. So it's kind of like I just gotta sit here and wait. And I'm sure if things did happen, if things worked the way out, and another team approached me for to do outdoors, and the teams, I'm sure SmarTop will be totally cool with it. But you know how these contracts are, so you kind of set in stone. So
well, what you're saying is if another team comes across, like, you're not like, hell no, I won't go. Like, if that's what you need to do, another team wants it, or that's what it takes to get a deal, you'll do it.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
For sure. So, and I haven't raced outdoors since 2014. I'm sure the ruts are still there.
Dude, I didn't realize it was that long.
Still there. No.
Yeah,
but So it's been quite a while for me. So I do miss it. I think it's one of those things where I'm still young in my career, so I still have a lot of a lot of racing on my belt for years. So what the route that I'm kind of doing right now is definitely something that you would do at the end of your career, maybe. But for me, it's more just let's just kind of get back outdoors and have a full season. Plus, too, that's more gate drops that I get to do, and that's more learning. Each and every race that you do, you're learning. So it is kind of weird for me to see these guys for one season and then possibly never see them again till A1 again. So you can't really judge how they're doing, or how he starts cracking at this part. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really pick up on riders when you don't see them for 6 months. So but just racing aspect, I love racing. So there's nothing worse than going out there and watching all your competition, racing, and you're just sitting on the couch or fishing.
Right, and because they're learning stuff and they're getting faster.
If I'm fishing,
you're okay.
They can have. I'm all right.
Okay.
But no. So it's the competition. It's when you love racing, no matter what it is. Even whenever I wasn't even racing in Europe or whatever, what races I would do, and they were racing, or whatever the case may be. So of course, I love racing. I don't want. You don't want your competition feel like they're getting any better or anything like that. So it's just kind of like and plus I had a really good season under my belt for Supercross, so I definitely wanted to kind of take it to the outdoors for sure.
Yeah, you don't want to just lose that momentum and just sit there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's all about momentum for sure.
So help me out here, dude. When you signed with MotoConcepts, I'm like, oh, bro, we're going to get Big James and Tony Alessi hanging out every weekend. The stories are going to be unreal. But actually, are there crazy stories? Because it seemed like everybody got along. Like, I was waiting for them to be like, I'm the gnarlier moto dad. No, I am. But seems like everybody was pretty good.
No, I mean, they kind of leave that in the past.
Okay.
No, they definitely, no. I mean, they do talk about, if anything that they talk about, they talk about PW50s.
Oh, really?
So they talk about PW50s and how fast PW. Just little stupid stuff or whatever.
Well, I'll tell you this: they have both told me they're the best PW50 mechanic in the world. Both of them.
Yeah, exactly. So. I don't really know. I mean, my PW50 felt stock to me. You know what I mean? So
okay.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what more you can do with a PW50. So that's all I know.
Okay.
We put graphics on them, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe a seat, but I didn't even have a seat. So
okay.
So whenever whenever I hear them talk about, even Tony, he was like, yeah, I can build the fastest PW50. I'm like, No, you can't. It's stock.
It's stock class.
It's a dealership and get the same exact one and it's be just as fast. So, that's in my mind. That's the way I think about things. But hey, you know what? Hey, maybe there is modifications you can do to a PW50 that I will never know about. But I guess I'll cross that bridge when I get there if I ever become a dad.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'll have my dad. I'll just if I have a kid, I'll bring it to my dad and be like, hey, Dad. Remember that things that you used to say you used to do?
Yeah.
Do whatever that was.
Dude, I think it was last year, I bought my kid a PW50. Your dad had told me at Loretta's one year, he's like, if you brought me a bag of PW50 parts, I could put the whole thing together. Just bring it to me in a trash bag. And I wanted to do it, and I couldn't figure out. I'm like, I'll bring it to Daytona. I'll bring it to WW Ranch. I never worked it out, but that's what he told me. He said, bring it to me in a trash bag. I don't need a manual. I don't need a book. I'll put it back together from memory. So that's your guy right there. That's your dad. He says he's got it dialed for you.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That's exactly. Yeah. That's exactly like. I mean, it's so funny too because when I did the giveaway that gave the kid the PW50 for Loretta Lynn's, my dad never said anything about it.
Oh.
So
where are the wrenches?
So I think it's just talk. It's just guy.
Okay.
Older man. They're just talking about the PW50. So that's why I was like, you know what. To me, the PW was bone stock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think it's all talk.
It's all talk. Now, by the way, where do you live now? You're not there with your dad, mom all the time. Like you moved on, right?
Yeah, I mean, right now I stay in the back house that's at the compound. So,
oh, you are? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I just pretty much been staying there. Just because, I mean, I've been spending more of my time out in California.
Right.
Especially these last 2 years. So it's kind of like right now I'm really just saving money and just, doing my own, personal things. But it's really, I've been staying so much in California. It's like you go buy a home in Orlando or your dream place or wherever you want to be at. It's just like, well, it's going to be an empty house sitting there.
Yeah. Because you did what? You had an apartment at one point when you were more Florida-based, right?
I stayed in an apartment for about 4 or 5 years, and then was going to get another house, and then right at last minute, I backed out of it, and I did not. I'm pretty much moved back here, and I've been just chilling here just because since those last 3 years, I've started spending my time out more in California.
Yep.
So I was just kind of like, I just wait until I figure out what I want to do.
And where do you stay out there?
Right in Corona, so right next to the test tracks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yep. So for me, it works perfect. I just get dressed at the house, go to the right, you know what I mean, a 30-second ride to the test tracks, and leave the test track, goes right back to the house.
Whoa. Don't say that you have your gear on when you're driving 30 seconds?
Mine as well.
Come on, you've done this?
Yeah, of course. Hey, there's times where even James, he's rode his motorcycle to the test track.
Just rode it the 30 seconds.
That's how close he was. Yeah.
Wow. So is this the same house? This is like a house you guys have had?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
perfect.
We don't even have to. We don't waste gas.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Don't worry.
Use the race gas.
Yes. So
let the team fill her up.
Right.
Well, cool. This has been awesome. I'm just pumped for you because, I mean, dude, look, you had a rough go. You win the 250 title. You can't even get a ride. You're banging around. I mean, was there a time where you were almost wondering if this is not going to work out? Like, did you fear you wouldn't get to this level that you're at right now? Were you worried about that a couple years ago?
No. I mean, I felt like, everybody goes through a rough, it was like a really tough year, I guess I would say for me. And yeah, of course, I was definitely devastated and upset and things like that. But it wasn't like I'm going to quit racing. That never crossed my mind. I was just like, it's just a rough year for me. I mean, I'm sure things would turn around for me, and they did. And even when I was racing, it was kind of like I felt like I was back in 2017. I felt like I just wasn't. My mind wasn't there. I was somewhere else. Of course, if you're not 100% focusing on racing, then, it doesn't matter what you do or who you are, your results aren't going to show. And that's basically what they did. And then the following year, they changed tremendously.
Yeah.
Even though we only had a race and a half, was out, but we showed speed. You know what I mean? Showed like, all right, well, hey, he's back to where he needs to be. And then, we got another year under our belt for this year. And then sure enough, this is where we are.
All right. Well, I'm pumped for you, man. We can never have too many good guys, battling at the front. That's what everybody wants to see, like more depth, more competition. So now you're in the mix, dude. You're in the mix. So it's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No,
Cool.
I feel good. I'm definitely, like I said, I'm happy, and you don't never know what 2021 brings us, but we'll definitely be lining up on the gate.
Well, I hope there are races. Okay, at least we just hope there are races to be in.
Yeah. I hope this is over with. I mean,
Dude.
in a lot of ways, yeah. Don't get me wrong. 2020 has definitely been one of the years that we'll never forget for the rest of our lives. Hopefully, that's is it. This is the rest of this year, but it's definitely one of them for us in a way. We're like, yes, we finally at least we're racing and whatever.
Yeah.
But now everything's kind of shifting again. So we're like, okay, well, at least we got one season done. Let's just keep moving. Let's just kind of get things going.
Yeah, you're going to tell somebody sometime 2020 was a really good year for you, and people are going to look at you with the weirdest look like, what is this guy talking? 2020 was a good year?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I'm almost like, I walk around and I got a smile on my face.
Yeah.
And I'm walking around and people are looking at me like, what in the world is he smiling about? Like,
right.
Maybe this guy's the guy that's giving everybody the virus,
Yeah, that's right. He's proud of it.
Yeah, it's like, this is the only guy I know that walks around and smiling,
Yeah.
So,
well, you got to ride your dirt bike and you got to fish, so I guess it ain't that bad.
Got to ride my dirt bike. I had a good Supercross season, and I'm fishing right now, so leave me alone. There's
social distancing when you're fishing, I'm assuming, right? That's right?
Yeah. Well, not really. I guess if you.
Oh, you got
catch the bass. They're right next to me.
Oh,
so.
The bass are okay. But 4:45 a.m. Do you have volunteers to go out there with you, or is this solo effort?
No, I have, dude. I got I have more fishing buddies.
Than
racing buddies. But,
okay.
yeah, usually most of the time we'll actually we'll get. It's 4:45 in the morning. We'll get about 6 or 7 boats.
Really?
So we'll just meet up in the morning at a lake and go fishing, and a lot of it's scouting around and for competition, because a lot of the guys do the competitions for the weekends and stuff. So now that that's probably what I'm going to start doing.
Ooh, okay, all right.
So it's more of it. I've done them before. I'll never forget my first time I did a competition, and I will be honest, I was more nervous doing that than I was probably racing. I was, because it was different. There's you got people that are lining up with like next to you that's got like $100,000 of boats. It's just like, man, this is insane. Like man, these guys. Oh man, look at this. He's got the good stuff. He's got the good stuff. So it's kind of like it was seriously. I was sitting there, but sure enough, I think we ended up getting like 6. So it wasn't the best, but out of like 40, 50 boats, getting 6, that was like a win to me. So, I was really I was happy, but I honestly fished my butt off for 3 hours. I didn't eat, I didn't drink. I was I was fishing hard. So
I didn't even know there was. This still surprised me every time you tell me stuff like this. You fished hard.
Oh, dude, I was fishing. I was putting so much effort into it. I was telling my buddy behind me, I was like, dude, we gotta get him. We gotta get him. I was pull a bass out and it's not big enough, throw him back. And it was I can tell you what. When I got done, when the time limit was done, I got back to the boat ramp. I literally just felt like I just wanted to collapse, because I felt like I was not breathing for that long. I was stressing so hard.
Okay, so see, I think I finally figured it out. Everybody's like, oh, does Malcolm take it seriously because he loves fishing so much? But now we're seeing, even with the fishing, the competitor part is still there. So there you go.
I've snapped some reels and rods and things like that. Oh yeah, no, it's serious. It's almost like I think I've definitely got more matter in fishing than mad skills on the phone.
Okay, that's hard to believe.
That's another thing I've deleted. Off my phone. I had to delete mad skills. Between that and Angry Birds when they was hot, I for sure deleted them too. Okay,
so when you're talking fishing, man, it's not what people think. It's not some dude just chilling. No, you're taking it seriously, bro. This is competitive. Yeah, you have that.
Not all the time.
Yeah.
Not all the time. If I'm fishing in a competition, yeah, no, it's serious. There's no there's no playing. It's strictly we ain't even talking. There's no talking. You're just straight fishing. Slight movements on the boat, can't scare the fish. It is straight. Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're definitely like I don't even have my phone on me. The phone's on airplane mode. You ain't getting a hold of me.
Wow. Okay.
You're not like, hey buddy, how's it going? No, none of that. No. So,
all right. So we know if we can't get a hold of you, you're probably on the boat.
I'm probably on the boat. Most of the time, you can't get a hold of me. I'm probably on the boat.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, enjoy it. You got plenty of time now. Enjoy it.
Cool. I know for sure. Unless somebody calls me.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
Unless somebody calls me. So, but as of right now, we're just looking forward for next year and keep moving from there and just enjoy the summer.
Awesome, man. All right, thanks for the time. Get back to it.
All right, appreciate it.
Yep, we'll see you around.
Boom, there is Malcolm Stewart. There you go. He's not afraid of the Nationals. Maybe he could have a replacement ride. Now, we have heard some rumors that Malcolm is shopping. I do not know if he will be back at MotoConcepts. He didn't really put it here. I believe that team is solid these days. You really can't argue with it. But I could see him saying, I want to be a factory rider now. The line between factory and privateer when it comes to a team like MotoConcepts is very blurred. I don't believe they're at a big equipment disadvantage, but we'll see. I don't know what jobs are open, but it's very difficult to predict in a normal year even, July, what openings will exist, let alone this year where so many things could happen. I guess maybe if you're Malcolm, you're just saying, look, I'm looking to take the next step, and MotoConcepts, whether the bike is good or not, I want a factory ride. That's the rumor that Malcolm's out there searching. He's not the only one. Dylan Ferrandis still is not signed. Shane McElrath, no one knows where he's going to go. And just a lot up in the air based on that. So going to be an interesting silly season, which will take place during the off season. I don't even know. Or during the season. I'm confused. The only thing you don't have to be confused about, go to Yoshimura-RD.com, get your exhaust system, and Yoshimura Cycling for cycling stuff, including the Chileo flat pedal, and RacerXOnline.com for all the latest news. There should be a Nationals announcement coming Thursday. You might be listening to it right now and looking at the site right now and knowing everything right now. I wish I had that kind of crystal ball that you have right now because you're listening to this in the future on Thursday, and I recorded it on Wednesday. Does that make sense? All right, hopefully we'll see you at the races soon.